For context, Sunny is a staunch supporter of reparations and has made a fortune spewing nonsense about white privilege and racial justice. Well, turns out she's not as oppressed as she claims she is. Video comes to us from Sunny Hostin. Sounds like a town. We're in Sunny Hostin. She was on PBS's Finding Your Roots, a show dedicated to researching celebrity ancestry. She's actually the descendant of slave owners from Europe. Here's how she took the news. Roll it.
Wow. I'm a little bit in shock. I just always thought of myself as Puerto Rican.
Sunny Hostin just got the ultimate dose of her own medicine. While lecturing America about racial injustice, Greg Gutfeld exposed the shocking truth about her family's slave-owning past that she casually dismissed as a fact of life. The View studio went completely silent as Gutfeld dismantled her moral high ground in just 60 seconds. Her co-hosts couldn't even look at her. Meanwhile, her husband's fraud allegations make this hypocrisy even more jaw-dropping. You won't believe what happened next. Before we move on, I'd like to ask you a small favor. If you appreciate this content, please take a second to like this video and subscribe to the channel. Over 98% of you watch the videos without subscribing. It costs you nothing, but it makes a huge difference to us. So, did you click the subscribe button? Great. Thank you so much. Now, back to the video.
So, how are you feeling, my friend?
I think it's actually pretty interesting that my husband and I have shared roots.
Yeah.
So I do appreciate, half Puerto Rican. I didn't think I was, my family was originally from Spain and slaveholders.
Yeah.
That. And I think it's great for our children to know this information. I guess it's a fact of life that this is how some people made their living, on the backs of others.
Moment that destroyed Sunny Hostin's entire career happened faster than anyone expected. For years, Sunny has positioned herself as the moral compass of America, lecturing viewers daily on the view about racial injustice while demanding others acknowledge their ancestral guilt. But her carefully crafted image came crashing down in an instant when Greg Gutfeld delivered the ultimate takedown that viewers won't soon forget. Sunny has made a career out of shaming others. Week after week, she's called for Americans to atone for historical sins they never committed. She's demanded reparations payments, pushed white guilt narratives, and positioned herself as the ultimate arbiter of racial justice, all while collecting her massive View paycheck and living in her multi-million-dollar mansion. Then came the bombshell that changed everything.
Fact of life. Interesting change of tune. For more, we go to our chief Sunny Hostin correspondent for a reaction. You're right. Anytime she says something stupid, I'm going to go, slave owner! Kat, I just watched that. That's the second time I've watched that. She was tipped off beforehand, right? Because they had to tell her before.
One thing, and I would have even actually not give her any is she said, well, I guess that's just what they did back then.
Yeah.
She should have followed that up with saying something along the lines of, and I understand that that's a departure from the way
During what should have been a softball PBS special on genealogy, researchers uncovered the uncomfortable truth. Sunny Hostin's own ancestors were slave owners. The revelation stunned viewers who had watched her countless moral lectures without ever hearing her mention this inconvenient family history. But it wasn't just the revelation that shocked America, it was Sunny's response. Did she show remorse? Did she pledge to pay reparations herself? Absolutely not. Instead, she casually brushed it off as just a fact of life back then. The exact opposite of what she demands from others whose ancestors had similar histories. The hypocrisy was breathtaking. This is the same woman who has spent years insisting that ancestral guilt doesn't expire and that modern Americans must pay for historical sins. Yet when it came to her own family's slave-owning past, suddenly context mattered and historical norms were a valid excuse. Greg Gutfeld, never one to miss an opportunity to expose liberal hypocrisy, seized this golden moment. On his wildly popular late-night show, Gutfeld delivered a perfectly timed roast that left his audience howling and Sunny's reputation in tatters. She is so wrapped up in identity and had no idea who she was, Gutfeld pointed out, highlighting how her entire career has been built on racial identity politics while she remained conveniently ignorant of her own family history. But he didn't stop there. In a joke that instantly went viral, Gutfeld quipped, "Now we understand why she always makes Whoopi get the coffee." The audience erupted in laughter, while Sunny's fellow View co-hosts were left sitting in uncomfortable silence. Not a single one of them could defend her obvious double standards. How could they? The hypocrisy was laid bare for all to see. Within hours, the internet exploded with memes and reactions. Social media users couldn't resist pointing out the irony, with one viral post saying, "Reparations, let me write that check to myself real quick." Others created mock videos of Sunny arguing with herself about ancestral responsibility, juxtaposing her previous statements with her new dismissive attitude. Conservative commentators had a field day. This is exactly why identity politics is a dead end, one Fox News contributor noted. When you build your entire platform on ancestral guilt and racial grievance, don't be surprised when it comes back to haunt you. Making matters infinitely worse for Sunny, this scandal hit just as her husband, Dr. Emmanuel Hostin, became entangled in serious legal troubles. The prominent orthopedic surgeon now faces a massive RICO lawsuit involving allegations of insurance fraud and illegal kickbacks. Hardly the moral high ground that Sunny claims to occupy. Court documents suggest that Dr. Hostin allegedly participated in a complex scheme involving unnecessary medical procedures and improper billing practices that defrauded insurance companies out of millions. While Sunny lectures America about justice on television, her own household appears to be built on questionable ethics at best and potential criminal activity at worst. This 1-2 punch completely undermines Sunny's moral authority. The woman who has made a career out of lecturing others can't even hold herself or her family to the same standards she demands from everyone else. It's the definition of hypocrisy, and viewers are noticing. Since Gutfeld's takedown, the View's producers have been scrambling to control the damage. Inside sources report emergency meetings where executives debated how to address the controversy, with some even suggesting Sunny take a temporary leave of absence until the storm blows over. But the damage may already be permanent. Ratings for segments featuring Sunny have reportedly taken a significant hit, with viewers changing the channel when she appears on screen. Media critics note that once credibility is lost in this way, it's nearly impossible to regain, especially when your entire brand is built on moral superiority. The Sunny Hostin saga has exposed the dangerous trap of identity politics in the most spectacular way possible. When your entire brand is built on lecturing others about accountability while dismissing your own family's slave-owning past as just a fact of life back then, the fall from grace is steep and painful. As Greg Gutfeld brilliantly pointed out, when the narrative someone champions doesn't align with their personal reality, it undermines their moral standing. This perfectly captures why Hostin's credibility has been permanently shattered. Critics are absolutely right. Her casual dismissal of her ancestry completely destroys the moral high ground she's claimed for years. While she continues to appear on The View, the damage is done. The ultimate lesson in this train wreck: before you build a career wagging your finger at others, make sure you're prepared to face the same scrutiny yourself. In the game of moral superiority, those who preach the loudest often have the most to hide.